Hello everyone, Lydia Alverson here, back with another video, and today this is going to be a follow-up to my overview of voice memos. And if you guys haven't checked that out, I'll be sure to link that in the description. Now, before we get started, one thing I just want to mention one thing I did forget to mention in my previous video was that not only was voice memos ported over to the Mac, but for the very first time, it is available for iPad with the release of iOS 12. And I think I might have mentioned this in my previous video. The voice memos got a whole new redesign and some pretty cool features, which I'm going to demonstrate here in a second. And with the release of watchOS 6 coming this fall, for those who own an Apple Watch, voice memos will now be available for Apple Watch. Now, I personally don't own an Apple Watch, but I would love to experience it one of these days. But anyway, today I want to go ahead and demonstrate how I can record a voice memo and edit it using voiceover. So, let's get started. Okay, so now I'm currently in the Voice Memos app. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start a new recording. Now, there's a couple ways I can go about this. I can navigate to the record button and do it this way, or I can simply use a keyboard shortcut, a system-wide keyboard shortcut that has always been prominent in the macOS environment, and that is Command-N. And technically that's usually the keyboard shortcut to start anything new in macOS. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Command-N to begin recording.
Start waveform detail, 0.45 seconds, slider.
Wow, I never did that before. But anyway, we should be recording.
Pause button, current position.
Yep, and we are. So, basically, my current position, this basically keeps track of how long this has been recording. So, basically the duration of the recording itself. So, I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording now.
Pause button.
Alright, so, let me go ahead and show you guys the screen real quick. Excuse me for the bad camera. Sorry, that might make a little bit of noise. But, yes, now the recording is paused. Now, a cool feature, I think, well, I personally find it pretty cool, is that while recording is paused, you can now play back your audio. And for a good reason. And I'll show you what that looks like.
Play button.
So I'm going to go ahead and hit the play button now. You probably might hear my voice or some of the audio that was just recorded a second ago.
Pause button. Waveform detail, 0.8 seconds.
And then, of course, it brings me back to the main screen here.
Rewind. Pause button. Play button.
I'm just going to pause playback. So, now watch this.
Current position. Replace button.
So I'm going to show you guys real quick and see if you guys caught that change. Okay. So now, the pause/resume button has now turned into a replace button. So this is pretty handy if, say, for example, you were recording and you decided you messed up while recording and you play that audio back and you want to go ahead and get rid of it. Simply, all I have to do is hit this replace button and it basically starts recording from where I paused playback. So now it's currently recording from where I paused, and I'm going to go ahead and just pause the recording now.
Fast forward, fit play, rewind, pause button.
I always make this mistake. I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording now. Okay, so now, let's say I want to go ahead and make some changes going back into the recording. All I have to simply do is
Current position. Waveform overview.
go into the playhead here,
In slider.
or go into the slider here.
21.91
Go
seconds.
ahead and make some changes at around the
18.44 seconds. 18.44 seconds.
It is 9 o'clock p.m.
Sorry about that. So I'm at the roughly 18-second mark. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop interacting with this,
Out of slider.
and say I want to go ahead and start recording from here.
Current position. Replace button.
Or say I want to go ahead and replace the audio before the playhead. So I'm going to start record. If I say, for example, if I hit the replace button now, what'll end up happening is it'll start recording at the 18-second mark, and the previous audio that was there is now gone. So I'm simply gonna. So let's give it a shot. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the replace button now, and it's gonna start recording. So this is just a test recording for a YouTube demonstration on the Voice Memos application for the Mac. And now if I go ahead and navigate to the play button now.
Replay button. Pause button.
So I'm going to go ahead and... So there's your audio there. Pause the recording now.
Pause button. Pause button.
Waveform detail. 0.45.
Resume button. Pause. Play button.
My apologies, you guys. I accidentally hit the wrong pause button there. But anyway, it started basically playing the audio that was right after the playhead.
Waveform overview. Waveform detail. Current position. 3.87. Replace button.
And of course I can go ahead and just replace that audio if I needed to. So, I think I'm done recording for now, and don't worry, I'm gonna delete this in just a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the done button now.
Replay fast done. Done button.
And the done button is the very last thing. And it should bring me back to my recording screen. Now, let's see if it appears in the list. So,
Recordings table. Scroll.
I went ahead and hit VO left to go to the recordings table. Sorry, my hand's in the way. So I'm going to go ahead and hit VO shift down arrow to start interacting with this.
In recordings table. Scroll area. New recording. 8:18.
And there it is. Now I'm going to go ahead and select this.
New record.
Now, let's go ahead and rename this recording. Now, the only way I found I was able to rename it was to go into the menu bar,
Menu bar. Apple.
go to File,
Voice memo file.
and one of the last options in this menu is rename, so I'm going to down arrow to open.
File. Menu 5 items. Start new recording command. N. Play/pause recording space. Duplicate command. D. Rename ellipsis.
And there's rename, and then the last option for fun,
Close command.
you can just close a window here. I'm not going to let you hear the thing. But I'm going to arrow back up to rename.
Rename ellipsis.
So I'm going to rename the file now.
Press rename ellipsis. Rename.
And I'm going to call this something like, let's see.
Selection replaced. T.
Oops.
S. Search text field. Prep recordings table.
And it should come up. Let's see if it works.
In recordings table. Scroll area. Test recording for demonstration for a video on YouTube.
Okay. Real quick, let me rename that again.
Menu bar. App. File. Edit. File. Duplicate. Rename ellipsis. Closing menu. Test recording for demonstration for a video on YouTube. 8:18.
My apologies, you guys.
Selection replaced. T. Search text field. Press Control Option Space to begin editing. Search recordings table.
So let me go back and make sure that...
In recordings table. Scroll area. Test recording for demonstration for a video on YouTube.
There we go. So now we renamed our recording. But let's say I wanted to edit this recording a little bit further. I can also trim this recording, and for those who don't know what trimming is, in this case, it basically means you're just basically, shortening your recording down. So basically, unfortunately, you can only trim off the beginning and the end of a recording. So say, if there was too much silence at the very beginning or the very end of your audio recording, you can cut that out. Now, just for purposes of demonstration, I won't save my changes, but I will show you how this works. So to trim recording, all I have to do is just hit the keyboard shortcut Command T, or I can just go into the menu. But I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut.
Trim recording. Trim beginning. Waveform overview.
Okay, so let me show you guys that dialogue real quick. Whoops, sorry about that. And that is your trim dialogue. Okay, so we have a few options. We can trim the beginning and the end of the recording. And then there are a couple other things you can do too.
Trim end. Waveform. Trim beginning. Waveform. Current position. Trim beginning.
Alright, so let's go ahead and give this a shot. So, as an example, I'm just going to say we're going to trim off about
3.46.
We're going to trim off about 3 seconds of that.
Out of slider.
And then I'm going to VO right to trim the
Trim end. In slider.
And
31.18 seconds.
we're going to trim off
34.6. 31.
We're going to trim off 3 seconds of that.
Out of slider.
So now, before these options were grayed out.
Current position.
Current position.
Trim button.
So we can now make the changes by trimming this.
Delete button.
We can delete what's inside the trim handles.
Play button.
Play back the recording.
Fast forward. 15 seconds button.
Fast forward.
Cancel button.
Cancel.
Rewind. 15 seconds button.
Rewind.
Save button.
And save. Now,
fast forward. Play button.
of course I can play this recording back after I made my changes. So if I'm happy with the results, I can go ahead and play this back and then make the changes as I see fit. For now, I'm just going to go ahead
Cancel button.
Go ahead and cancel this.
Trim mode ended.
And now we're back in the main recording screen, and I'm just going to hit
play, but done button.
Hit the done button to get out. Okay.
Recordings tape.
And now we're back in the main screen. Now one more thing.
In recordings.
Now I did mention I was going to delete this recording. How do I do that? Of course, I can go into the menu, but I can simply just hit the delete key.
Daisy.
And that deleted that recording, so now it is gone. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here.
Out of recordings table, scroll area.
And there you guys have it. That is just a demonstration of how I can record and edit a voice memo on my Mac. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this demonstration, and yes, I have the camera facing my the screen on my MacBook Air for visually impaired users. So, if you guys like what you guys see, please feel free to like and subscribe, and please feel free to share my videos as well. And if you guys haven't checked out my previous video on voice memos, I will put a link in the description. And if you guys would like a voice memos demonstration for iOS, let me know and I will definitely do a video on that. So, with that being said, until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.